because I set it to public rather than unlisted. So in theory, people will be notified about this one. This will not be the same as the last time, in theory. But we'll see, because I may have screwed it up again. And that wouldn't shock me. I did not mess it up. There's people. Hello. You didn't miss anything. Hello. Good to see everybody. Welcome. Yes, I am live. I'm live and vertical. Because that's what I'm supposed to do, apparently, is do vertical. So that's what we're doing. Can y'all confirm if you can hear me? And I'm speaking through these things, so does it sound tolerable, or should I put these away and speak just through the mic of the phone? Someone just let me know. Thank you very much, Luna. I appreciate it. Can hear me good. I can hear you. The bad quality says I can hear you. That's funny. Very good quality. But bad quality said it was bad. Nice. Okay, well, I'll get right to it because I don't have a lot of time, actually. In fact, we have maybe just about 5 minutes. So, for everybody who's here right now, if you have yet to, you can be some of the last people to pre-save my new album coming out in 5 minutes. So if you go into the description of this live, you'll have a link that you can click, assuming you're probably on your phone. You have a link you can click, and it will take you right to a link to get to the pre-save, to hit that up on Spotify or Amazon or Apple Music. So this is just my last little bit to try and tell y'all, the people who are here, to go check out, pre-save my latest album. In 5 minutes, it'll be coming out. But I'm looking to get those last minute pre-saves in for all 65, 70-ish of you. Feel free to go hit that up because it's coming out. And you know what's funny, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm in Indiana right now because I'm on a tour as one of the vocalists for Naruto: The Symphonic Experience, and we're going around the nation from late February through mid-May, and it's something I've never done before. I'm so stoked about it. This has been so cool. We've been practicing for the past 2 days, and our first show is tomorrow in Evansville, and it's an incredible show. And right now, I must admit, my mind is there. In fact, one of the ways in which I memorize lyrics well is I write them down myself. It just translates to my head better. I have this is my book of my sheet music that I've been studying. So my mind it's sort of stuck in two places right now because I've been working on the album that you can pre-save below. You have 4 minutes, 3 minutes to pre-save my album before it comes out in 3 minutes. I've been working on this album, The Darkness Before the Dawn, since 2022. I remember those first writing sessions that I had with John, Neil Sanderson, and us three working on what would eventually become Just One Step, which is a song on the album. And then fast forward over the span of the next 3 years, and we had 5 singles released for the album, and then we wrote 5 last songs to fill out the album over the span of just a week, trying to meet a deadline that we made for this album. So it was a quick turnaround time that we made, but the last songs on this album came from like a pressure cooker kind of scenario. Um, so the story of this album is a long one, and uh, a story of collaboration and sharing ideas. Because the first album I did in one breath, my debut album, was almost solely written by me, with obviously the indelible stamp of all the producers and instrumentalists that worked on it. But compositionally, it was a lot of my stuff. And this time around, so many voices and so many incredible writers are on this album. And it's really cool to be able to share that with people, what we've worked on. 2 minutes to pre-save. You have 2 minutes to pre-save. The question is, for those who are in here who have not pre-saved, can you beat the release? Can you beat the release of the album, the imminent release of the album in the next minute and 30 seconds? Can you get a pre-save in before it comes out? Can you get a pre-save in? I'm going to go get a drink. Can you get a pre-save in before the album comes out? Can you do it? Is it possible? The clock is ticking. There will be another music video adventures, and in fact, that music video is coming out tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. Just pre-saved it. S Adventures just snuck it in there in the last second. I love it. I love y'all. Love y'all making this happen. All right, we got 30 seconds, according to my watch, for albums coming out. Sam Wise, I don't know. We'll see. As time goes on, we'll see. Did the pre-save and ordered the signed digipack? That's what's up, Diaz. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I got my time. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Darkness Before the Dawn has officially released. So if you did not get your pre-save in, I believe it is too late. Now, you just get to listen to the album. You don't get to pre-save or nothing. You don't get any of the fun anticipation. You just get to be here. And now, instead of saying my album's coming out, I just have to say my album is finally out. My second album, my sophomore album, The Darkness Before the Dawn, just released less than a minute ago. So obviously you can stay on this live if you want, or you can go and listen to the album in its entirety. If you've been keeping up with the album, there are 5 singles on it that you've already heard, and then there are 5 brand new songs that you've not heard. And those albums, one of the songs, the very first song of the album, is called Fear, and it features the alt-rock Christian band Adelita's Way, and they did an incredible job singing on this one and being a part of it. And Fear is a great album opener. It wasn't what I wanted to be the album opener, but after talking with the label and thinking on it, Fear ends up making a lot of sense, because much of the album, lyrically and especially thematically, is centered around the baser instinct of fear and why we have fear. What is fear? How does fear motivate us? How does it demotivate us? And I thought more on it and thought, no, I think fear's a great opener because it's one of the overarching themes of the album. If my first album, In One Breath, had an overarching theme of time and memory, a big overarching theme in this album is fear. So to open with the song Fear fits really well. I think, and then the second track, the Darkness Before the Dawn, is really just leans into the idea of being afraid. It leans in the idea of one of the other themes in the album, which is hope. Hope against all odds. Hope in the face of no reason to hope. But also an acceptance and a willingness to move through together through difficult circumstances throughout life, the myriad of difficult circumstances, and a willingness to share in those circumstances with others, and for you yourself to be in those circumstances with another. So it's a great second song. Also, historically, for albums, you put your first single as your second song. I should have brought my album with me because I had a copy of it. And then the third song of the album is called "The Memory," and that's another brand new song. And that is technically the sixth and final single on the album, I suspect. And that one features Ashes Remain, the alt rock metal band. And they did an incredible job on that track too. Golly, it sounds so cool. And it's an inspiring track about how our past shapes us. And it ruminates over the idea of what kind of control do we have over our memories, and do we have any control over how that shapes us? And the bridge of the song really make sure that the entirety of the verses and the chorus that has the line, I'm going through it in my head. All it would take to be free is to rewrite the memory. And to contextualize that appropriately, because I don't want people to think when it comes to the memory that I'm wanting you to change. You can't change things that have happened to you. But in the bridge, it says who you were before and what happened to you does not define how you will find your own way of letting go. And that's what the memory is about. And that's what rewriting the memory is. It's not so much about just changing what's happened. It's that as you grow older and as you come to understand, it's basically trying to put to our memories, to events in our life, it's those painful memories do not have to define who we are. They're a part of our journey, and they're a part of us, and they always will be. But they don't have to be the set in stone pillar of the kind of person we will become following the pain of a memory. Thank you, Lightning. And I could go through every song. I'm just realizing I'm talking about all of them. But if there's any questions y'all have about the album or questions for me, Apple Music album cover art is animated. That's sick. I didn't know we did that. It's too late in the evening for me to be hearing deep truths. And that's isn't that kind of the beauty of music sometimes, and poeticism and lyrics in general, is trying to make the difficult things, or rather the hard to think about things, a little easier to digest. But yeah, I think that's important. Yeah. It's not about how you start, it's about how you end. Classic quote, widely used and true. Was it difficult to reflect on these complex inner journeys for a long time to write the album, or freeing to express it through music? That's a loaded question. It's a good question. I think it would be difficult if you're the kind of person who is a little more emotionally reserved. Um, Either emotionally reserved or struggles to articulate how you feel. Um, but sometimes it's not that I struggle to articulate how I feel. It's not that I struggle to want to express how I'm feeling. It can be a struggle to find the right words to put to it, to have how you're feeling be widely understood, and that there there isn't any miscommunication in expressing how you're feeling. And that is the journey of any, I think, art. And I think in this album's case, that was part of it. Because what was complex about this album was writing an album that was explicitly commercial. And when I say that, I mean that it's very easy listening. It's a wide appeal. We cast a wide net with creating hard rock, new metal, a soundscape, and lyricism as well. Not waxing poetic too much. So how to convey complex feelings in a way that is immediately understood and digestible, that was a challenge. That was the difficult part. And those last 5 songs that are the brand new ones, that was the biggest. Those were the toughest. Um, and they were the toughest in that what I wanted to say in those songs was maybe some of the most important things that needed to be said, and it also shaped the songs that had come before it. And now in a lot of ways the album feels fresh because of these last songs that y'all haven't heard, because now you see all the other songs through a different lens, and it's cool. And I hope that I hope that the album has the effect on people that I want it to, you know, like, and this is, and to be also frank, the album is a Christian album. And a lot of people don't know that I'm a Christian. I don't make it explicitly clear. And not only that, I also dabble in properties that a lot of people who are Christian might not bother with being a part of. But the funny thing is, I think a lot of those properties has been actually have a lot of eternity written into them and written through them. So there's a lot of those series, a lot of themes in those series I actually greatly identify with as a Christian. So I don't feel rejected by those shows or feel like I have to put them at bay. Obviously, they're not for children or even like teenagers, in my opinion. But I'm a fully grown adult. I consume media. I don't know. I like to think I'm intelligent enough to watch it and not, and have a good way about it, or good thinking about it. So the album is, and I even bring this up too, is to say that this will be, a lot of you in here are not Christian, and that's 100% fine. I'm not bothered. You deserve respect and the right to exist and all of that, and not be afraid of anything, anybody, any Christians. There's a lot of things in this album that, as a Christian writing in the Christian space, that are not things you normally hear in the Christian music space. And I don't know what kind of influence I have. So everything I say might fall on deaf ears. But in a lot of ways, I don't think this is of course, when I write an album, I mean, my In One Breath album wasn't a Christian album in the sense that it wasn't labeled as such. But as a Christian, you're going to have your beliefs be imparted onto your work by nature of your virtues. I think that'd be anybody. What you choose to believe and how you live your life, that's going to become a part of your art. And that was the case with my first album. But when you're writing something explicitly Christian, um, or rather, it's being marketed as explicitly Christian, um, you're thinking about your demographic a little differently. And when I was thinking about writing an album, a Christian album that probably majority Christians would listen to, I came about my writing of these songs differently than I did my first album. Um, and I'm curious to see how Christians receive it. I'll put it that way. So it's going to be good. I love the songs, and I think several of the songs have become truer. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for the super chat there, Mr. Plant. Thank you. Appreciate that. But once you listen to the album, you'll see what I mean. It's about a 30-minute album, if you can find yourself 30 minutes to listen to the album. And you can tell me what you think. But I hope it's a challenging album for Christians, and I hope I ultimately want it to be a hopeful album, right? Because for me, especially with what I believe, I have a lot of hope. That's sort of how that's the reason for me to go on. So we'll see. We'll see what people think about it. And thank y'all for your encouraging words, by the way. I see the chats go by so fast on YouTube Live. And I probably need to get off soon because I need to stop talking because I have a show tomorrow, and I don't need to be burning my voice just talking out loud, and I still got to practice. But yeah, thank y'all so much again for always being supportive of the work I do. Thank you for pre-saving the album if you did. And if you hadn't, don't worry, it's out now. You don't have to pre-save it. And I will have some really cool updates in the future. The music video for The Memory drops tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Excuse me. And thank you, Josh. I see you. Thank you. And yeah, be well. Please be well. If I have any wish for you tonight, especially for the past couple days, for me, I just want you to be well. If you're not feeling good, talk to somebody who makes you feel good. A thing that I've thought about too is sometimes people want to hear your voice. Sometimes it's not the other way around. And sometimes, even if you don't feel like talking to people, or you feel like you want to be recluse and kind of retreat, it might do you some good to let someone else hear your voice. So whatever thing you need to do to feel better, a little towards better, because that's what I did today. Whatever you do, you need to feel a little towards being better. Do that thing. Do that thing. It's in the theme of tonight and the theme of the album that released 15 minutes ago. That if you're in a darkness right now, if I'm going to wax poetic for a second, if you're in the middle of a darkness, big or small, there will be an inevitable dawn that will come. But if it's not here right now, and it doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon, then I think we just need to sit in the darkness for a bit. It's here, we're in it. Let's just be together in that darkness for a little bit. Let's bear with one another in it. Knowing eventually the dawn will come, but right now it doesn't have to. And we'll keep carrying on in the middle of it. One step at a time, one lamp lit under our feet, step at a time, toward the eventual dawn. There we go. There's the sappy quote for 11:18 at night. Me too, Trevor. I'm glad I'm dropping an album too. Click on the link below. Check out the album. It's out now. The Darkness Before the Dawn, sophomore album from me. 3 years worth of work. Finally done. So, y'all be well. I got a show tomorrow. Naruto. If you happen to be in Indiana, pull up. Nebraska on Sunday. Pull up. It's going to be great. I love y'all. Peace, love, and metal. And I'll see y'all soon. Oh, and a music video tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Check y'all out. Bye-bye.